Hello everybody, welcome to another Rick's Picks. Today I'm going to be doing my review of the Masters of the Universe New Eternia figure, King Randor by Mattel. Now I've been loving this whole New Eternia line. I've been liking these figures. I think they've been putting some really good details into them. And so far I haven't really found any figures in this line that I haven't liked. So I am kind of curious to what they do with him. King Randor was never one of my all-time favorite figures, but I always thought he was a pretty decent character. So, it'd be cool once again to see what they do with this guy. So just remember, first off, I want to thank everybody who has subscribed. You're very much appreciated. And for anybody who does like this video and hasn't subscribed, then I please ask that you subscribe as well. And also check out my Masters of the Universe playlist. So without any further ado, let's get to the review. So here he is in packaging. Now, first off, you get a small window so you can see the figure, some of his accessories. Now, the sword normally sits right here in the corner, but it broke loose, so it's floating around in the bottom of the box somewhere. But I do like the artwork. And that's another great thing about Masters of the Universe is not only do you get cool figures, but you get some really cool artwork. So first off, I'm going to start on this side. We got King Randor. All right. Wrap it around. You got Masters of the Universe, New Eternia. You got like these, I don't know, like lizard, maybe fishman type monsters fighting him. All right. Now the artwork gets interesting. I'm going to show you why. Because right here, you see a spaceship behind King Randor. All right. So you see the ship behind him. You see him in a fighting position, fighting off this lizard. And then when you come around to the side, there's the queen in her original space outfit, because not a lot of people know Queen Marlena. She was actually from Earth. She crash landed on Eternia and then winded up marrying the king. So this is pretty interesting because it kind of tells a story here. It kind of tells the story of her crash landing because, once again, spin back around. You can see the ship coming around. You can see her with the laser. And King Randor fighting off reptiles. So it looks like she landed like in hostile territory of these reptile fish guys, and then the king is here and he's trying to help her fight them off. So I think that's a cool story that they're telling with this wraparound art. I really do like that. And I'm hoping we get a queen in her spacesuit. I don't think we have ever got a figure of her in the actual spacesuit. So it'd be really cool to get like maybe a version of her that has her like queen suit and then maybe have the space suit, like two different figures, one head type sculpt or, something like that. But it'd be really neat to actually see her in action figure form in her space suit. So now you come around here. All right. Boom. You get some beautiful pictures of him in all his different forms. So you see this nice picture of him here, a couple of different versions, even a bald-headed version. You got Zord here, or as many of us know her as the Sorceress. You get this nice picture of him, a little bit about him, all the other figures that are part of this wave, and the Mattel logo. All right, come around to this side. All right, you get this nice headshot of him. Then you get this older profile of him. I like this picture of him. That looks really cool. He's pointing the sword at you. It's some really good art. I really love this artwork that they did for him. All right. So on the top, you got the Masterverse. All right. You got Mattel. Your age restriction, 30 points of articulation. And then underneath you have your legal and SKU. So, all that being said, let's open him up and see what he's about. So here he is out of packaging. We're going to first start off with the basic points of articulation with him. So his head does move. All right. You got a shoulder joint with a swivel, an elbow joint, and you do have a wrist joint. All right, get this other arm up. He does have a joint at the hips. Now he does have a joint inside here as well. You can get some of that movement in there, but his armor does restrict it a bit, so it's a little bit hard to move, but it is there. Right, spin him around to this side. You got a thigh joint with a swivel. Okay. You got a knee joint. That knee joint's a little tight, but it does move. All right, you should have a swivel at the top of the boot. And now you have an ankle joint. So other than the knees, all the joints move pretty well. Ooh, let's get him back in place. There we go. All right. So now let's start looking at his finer details. So first off, let's take a look at this head sculpt. I do like this head sculpt. I think it looks really nice. Now, the one disappointment is, and I'm sure this is easy to fix. I'll show it in a moment. All right. Is underneath the eye here, there's a little imperfection there. Looks like a little excess paint, maybe something you could just, scrape off and what have you. Right underneath the one eye. I like how his beard has some gray in it. That gives him a little bit of a distinguished look. But if you look on the sides of his jaw here, you can see that that was meant to be beard, but they didn't paint it all the way around. So when you look on the back here, you can see, lack of paint. Where when you look on this other side here, you can see that the paint goes all the way on. So there's definitely a paint discrepancy on this part of his chin. So that's a little bit of a bummer. Not a make or break for me, but it's something that I feel like they could have did better on him. Now his armor has the standard Prince Randor look to it. Just similar to the original figure where it's that gold with the red underneath of it. That looks really nice. I do like the overall look to that. I like how they designed the belt on him with the gems in it. I think that looks really nice as well. Spin him around to this side. You got basically the standard look following around. So you have his leg armor here. You have the button here on either side that allows you to take his chest plate off. So if you just want him with the red shirt, you can do that as well. Let's bring this arm down so you can see the arm. There you go. All right. Come around here. They put a little bit of extra detail to it. So you got like more mute looking red, and then you got the brighter red on either side, which looks really nice. I do like that. Now you look down here, you can see the nubs to take the leg armor off. So if you decide that you want to take that off, you could do that as well. And coming back around to this side, you got basically the same thing. You got the other nub to take the armor off. And back around to the front. So overall, he's a pretty decent looking figure. So now he does come with a bunch of accessories. So first off, he comes with a helmet. Okay. The stones and everything in it. All right, kind of like the look of this helmet. This is a more battle-ready crown opposed to just, the standard crown. And speaking of that, you do have the standard crown, which comes with which comes with the hair. All right, I hate to say it, kind of looks like a toupee with a crown on it to me personally, but it is there. So if you want them with the hair, you can do that as well. Next up, he has a sword, which is a pretty cool looking sword. I like the overall look to this sword. His scepter. All right. I do like the overall look to the scepter. Kind of think the crown on top is a little corny, but that's me personally. All right. He has his arm gauntlet here. Now, this is pretty neat because they did something similar with this like they did with, I believe it's Thunder Punch He-Man. So when you bring it around to this side, you can see it has a joint in here that allows the arm to move. I think they also did that with Man-at-Arms too. I like this overall look. I like the design of this armor. That looks really cool. Definitely this piece here kind of gives you that old school, medieval crusade look to it. I do like that. That's a really neat design. And then of course you have his cape. I like the factor that it's cloth. Usually cloth falls a lot nicer and looks better than the plastic in most cases, in my opinion. So now that we looked at everything individually, let's see how well it all works on. So first, we're going to start with the cape. All right. That just plugs into his armor there. Boom. Works really well on him. Oops. Don't want him eating his rope there. So let's give the cape a good look over. That looks really nice. I do like how that looks on him. Now, to get the arm gauntlet on, you do have to remove the hand and his bracelet here. So the hand and the bracelet comes off. And you slide the arm, whoops, as I throw him onto the table. Slide the armor just up it. Locks into place. Put his bracelet back on and his hand. All right. Cape. All right. Push back a little bit. So now you have that arm gauntlet on him. That looks really nice. I like the overall look to that. All right. Now let's try his two weapons. So first off, I'm going to put the scepter in this hand. Now the fingers are pretty loose on these fingers. On these figures. So that scepter fits in there really nice. No issues. And because the fingers are that loose, it makes it easy to maneuver them around the weapon and the handle. All right, get this past that pommel. That down like that. Let's move it, stand back around. There we go. So now he has a sword in his hand. That looks really nice like that. I do like that. So you can have him with the hair now, which actually doesn't look that bad on him. It does definitely give him that whole King Arthur look. All right. Look up. And then if you don't want that, you can also have, like I said, the more battle ready helmet. That works well with them also. So let's get into my final thoughts with this guy. So all his joints work pretty well. I didn't have any issues with them. I think the knees were a little bit tight on him, but that's common with a lot of figures. So I didn't have any real issues with that. All his accessories work very well with him. I didn't have any problems getting any of his weapons in his hands or his armor on or his helmets. And the one thing I really do like about this figure is the detail, the overall look. I mean, looking at him like this, the profile to this figure is very nice. Very good profile to him. He has that king look to him and what have you. I like the overall look to this figure, which looks really cool. Probably the one thing I have an issue with is his alternate hair. The hair and crown. It kind of, makes me think of a toupee. But I do like this bald look with him. And also, the paint could have been a little bit better around his beard. So that's my other, critique with this figure. So those are my only issues with him. Other than that, would I recommend this figure? Absolutely. And the funny thing about it is I'm not even a big King Randor fan. He's not like one of my top 10 favorite master figures and characters. But I really like this figure a lot more than I thought I would. I just love the overall look to him. He just has that, kingly presence to him that I really like. And, that authority type figure look to him. So, yeah, I would highly recommend him to go with the rest of your Masters of the Universe figures. So, with that being said, first off, I want to thank everybody who watched this video. You're very much appreciated. And I ask that you hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Also, check out my Masters of the Universe playlist and do comment. I really want to hear from you folks. So, until the next one, late.